Here we go. O'Kella Anthony on Facebook. Who was your role model growing up as a child?
Role model. I can't really say a role model, but I just say I really looked up to John Wayne.
Not a Kazoo on Reddit wants to know, when you were starting out in the wrestling business, what was the hardest thing for you to learn?
The psychology, just learning how to push buttons and pull strings.
Nana Ikenen Adu wants to know, who was your greatest opponent?
Probably Bret the Hitman Hart or The Rock, and that's
Bret the Hitman Hart?
Bret the Hitman Hart, one of the greatest of all time.
And he was hard he was rough for you in the ring?
Oh, no, he's one of my favorites.
Merciless Blue Shell on Reddit asks, how did you come up with the Austin 316 catchphrase?
Basically, it was a tournament-style pay-per-view. It was King of the Ring. The first guy I wrestled kicked me in the mouth. I had to go to the hospital and get 14 stitches in my upper lip. When I came back in the ambulance, the pay-per-view was still going on. A guy came and informed me that I was going to wrestle Jake the Snake Roberts in the final for the King of the Ring. At the time, Jake was going around giving religious testimonies. I was informed that he cut a religious promo on me. As soon as I heard that, and I was in a heel mode, I was the bad guy, I knew that when I beat him, because I knew what the finish was going to be, that I was going to say something in reference to John 3:16 and say Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass. It was totally spontaneous, and had no one told me that he had cut that promo, Austin 3:16 would have never been born.
That's the New Testament. Simply Sausages on Reddit wants to know, do you have any real backstage heat with any other wrestlers?
No, you know, there's going to be times and places where you're in a bad mood and things are going kind of rough, and maybe the same guy's in the same situation. And sometimes you're going to work with guys you'd rather not work with, but at the end of the day, you always go to the ring to protect the person you're in the ring with. Your life is in their hands and vice versa. When it all comes down to it, you're there for longevity. If you get sent home due to an injury, you don't make money. So you always go to the ring with the aspect of taking care of who you're performing with.
Demetrius 1975 asks, if you could go back and change one event that happened during your wrestling career, what would it be?
That one event I referred to is when I was going to lose a match to Brock Lesnar and didn't like the creative and decided to take my ball and go home, as they said. So that would be the one.
Phil Rock 60 on Instagram. If you were to have one last match in WWE, who would you want as your opponent?
That's a great question. CM Punk.
Glenn Harrop on Facebook asks, would you come back to wrestling to have a match with CM Punk?
I would consider it, but all the stars would have to be aligned. It would have to be good for them. It would have to be great for me.
Spastic Hero on Reddit wants to know if you regret leaving WWE.
No, I do not regret leaving. I did what I had to do, and I moved on down the road and forged another life.
And V170 on Reddit wants to know, what exactly is the bottom line?
Hey, the bottom line is whatever I say it is on how I feel passionately about a subject. I am very happy to be on the Larry King Show, and that's the bottom line.